Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Today we're back on the Kawasaki F7. Probably a lot of people out there wondering what happened to that thing. Well, I'm on it for a little bit. There's really not much that I can get for it. I'm missing a lot of the rubber dampers and that sort of thing. Some of that stuff's available. As a matter of fact, I just ordered a couple that I need for the rear fender. They actually had them in Utah, and I had bought a lot of that stuff prior, but I couldn't remember what it was all for and everything. So I went and printed off a lot of the assemblies of the fenders, tail light, all this other stuff. Now I'm not going to be able to get everything that I need for that. I'm probably just going to have to make do with some faucet washers and things like that. I've done that before, and that's probably what I'm going to have to do here. Just kind of have to make it work type stuff. But I think I've kind of changed how I want to do this. I'm going to do the Survivor type thing from here on out. We did paint the frame, and we've plated a lot of parts and that sort of thing, and I'll continue to do that if I need to. But for the most part, I think I'm going to try to use the tank and the fenders without painting them. The front fender, I don't know how I'm going to go on that because it's broken. So I'm going to have to repair it. I'm going to have to weld it. So of course that's going to burn off a lot of the paint. But it's all underneath in a very small spot. So we'll see where that goes. I may just, hit it with something close, and the little bracket will cover it up, and we'll just call it good. But we're going to try to get the engine in and start getting, I think I can probably get the rear fender on, except for those two big dampers that I need. I'll just stick a bolt in there to hold it up or something until I get those. Probably be closer to the end of the week. But we'll see where that goes. But to start out, I've got it back here on the stand, and we'll just go back there and try to slip the engine in and get it all bolted up. So let's get down there and do it. Hey guys, just to let you know, I had a lot of footage here that is kind of missing out of this. It didn't have the audio. I've really been having a lot of trouble with audio here lately. I'm just not sure what it's probably me, but I've got 3 days in this video and a whole day basically of clips. I've got the visual, but I don't have the audio for. And I really am bad at the talk over on the video. I usually can't get it to work, and that's kind of the case with me tonight. So if it seems like there's something missing, there is. I went through, let me get you handheld here a minute. I went through putting on the seat, putting on the rack, putting on the speedometer and tack and the bracket, and fishing up the wires into the headlight. And all the rest of these I've just got dangling here because I've got to re-sleeve everything. So all that stuff from the handlebar switch, and I moved the electrical harness from running here to running through the hole here in the middle. And that seemed to get everything out of the way so the oil tank can go on. I didn't make it to the store today, but I was going to look at the hardware store, see if they've got a plug that I can put in here, since I'm not going to use the regular vacuum operated petcock. And one of the things I showed at the end, I showed the petcock I'm going to use, but it didn't show what I got. And what it was is Drag Specialties, and there it is, 0705-0282. I just got it off of eBay, and that gives me the that number will give me this outlet right here on the petcock. Otherwise you can get it on this side too, but I wanted it this way. That way the fuel line can just come out right here and go in. And the one thing is it comes with this screen, and this will not fit in the tank. So you're either going to make your own screen, which is what I'm going to do, or you're just going to use it like this and use an inline filter. But it's 18 millimeter, can't remember the thread, but that's the right one. It screws right on, but you can't use that filter. But anyhow, I went through that, and we got the air boot on. And what else did we do? I have found a home for all these. I don't have flashers on here. I do have a set of flashers, but I don't have all of the bracketry that I need. I think I do for the front, because I think they just go clamp on the handlebars like the Yamahas. But on the back, I don't have the pegs. So I'm not sure I'm going to put them on, but that being said, I've got these two wires here for the flasher that I don't have, and we've got the everything up here. I've got my mini fuse, so that's all set up, and here's the ground for using a Motobat battery. I like those gel batteries. That'll fit right in here. Those last 5 or 6 years. Up here I've got just the rear signals right here that I'm not using. Otherwise, all these wires except there was one, I believe it was yellow with a green stripe. Yes, yellow with a green stripe. Right there. And I believe, from what I can tell, that one is probably one of those that if things aren't charging good enough, you hook this one up or something. I don't believe it goes anywhere normally, or it may be for not US distribution. I don't know. But I don't think I need to use that one. If anybody knows, let me know. But I did a lot of back and forth with wiring, trying to get it to fit in there right. I actually went back and looked at the video where I tore it down, and it came out of here like it is now. So, and I think that all this is going to go up into here, and we're just going to have a few of these wires going up here. This one here is for the front brake light switch, and that's on the cable, of course. And then I've got these two wires here, which are signal light wires in the bucket, and that's it. But I went through a lot more of the assembly, foot pegs, just a lot of little stuff. And for some reason I just had no audio. So like I said, if it looks like something's missing, it is. Okay, let's just kind of take a look at it here and see where we stopped. Got a rolling chassis. Done some wiring repair, and I think we had to repair the box, the battery box. I don't think I have a lid for this air cleaner. I think it was just open when I got it, so that's probably how it's going to remain. But I've got, you know, like I say, there's a lot of stuff here that I just am not going to be able to get. I'm going to have to maybe make some Yamaha parts work or Suzuki parts, anything that I can to get it to work. I actually got, this is a NOS tack, and I got a very good replacement on the speedometer. And I've got some of these cushions, so we may be okay. I don't know if you remember, but this was the original tack, and you know, it's just toast anyway, but somebody welded around it and got beads on top of it, and this one wasn't much either. So that was probably the worst of it. And I was able to find these, and they're pretty good shape. I think I tested them years ago to see if they work, so I'm sure that I did. Anyhow, our first objective is to get the engine in. You know, it's already built up. All we've got to do is get it in, get the carburetor on, get the wiring hooked up. It should be good to go. I'm going to try to get the rear fender on. I've got it laying over here. I've gone ahead and kind of compounded the paint on it to get it as nice as I can. And you know, underneath the seat and everything, the stripes are faded out. I don't know why, but they are. But I did go through here and put all new hardware, and I re-plated these brackets. But these are the bushings, the rubber bushings that I had to order, and they are available at Rocky Mountain, so they should be coming in. I've just got all this stuff just kind of set on here for right now. I haven't even got this all hooked up, so we'll be going through all that and trying to get that hooked up. The front fender, like I say, where it's broke is right here where it actually fastens, and I'll show you that. I've got some work I'll need to do to it, and I'll go ahead and kind of compound this one out too and replace the hardware on it. But you can, I think you could see here where the crack is. Just about broke this whole mounting area out. So I'll be welding that. You can see the crack extends up this way too. So there's going to be quite a bit of paint coming off of there. So we'll just see. I do have a decal kit for this. If push comes to shove, I can get some, I think Ford Grabber Orange is pretty close to the color on this. Or Grabber, that's not right. Is it Grabber Yellow? I think so. And I've actually got some of that, I think, because I used it, I believe, on my Bull Taco. So we may end up painting it after we get done and restriping it. And you know, it just goes south from there. If you do something like that, then you're probably going to have to do it all. But we'll see if we can keep from having to do it. And again, the tank will, gas tank and the oil tank, will compound them and see how they turn out. They should turn out about like this. This didn't take very long to do, and it looks a lot nicer. So let me get the engine over here, and let's see if it will go back into the frame. It's kind of cold today, guys. I had 2 90-degree days. One of them I spent up in the mountains. I imagine you've already seen that video. That was a really nice day riding the bike. But today, last night we got a cold front in, got rain for about 2 or 3 hours, and today we've got gale force winds, and I don't know, it must be about 65 degrees. This is kind of tricky. Let's see if I can come around the other side and wiggle things in. Kind of got it to set down. This has got more bolt in, or more engine bolts than normal for most of these bikes. There, I think that kind of did it. Okay, let me get a tapered punch, and we'll try to line all this stuff and get some bolts in. Kind of jockey this one around until we can get it started. And I'm not real sure how the wiring went here, but I brought it in just under this mount right here behind. That's the way it looked like it was most out of the way, everything. Of course, you never know. May be wrong. Okay, we'll get this one squared away maybe. There we go. And we've got the long one here that includes the foot pegs. Yeah, looks like it'll go in there pretty easy. I'm going to take a little figuring out to see where these things are supposed to go. Looks like it. You like that? Now that Kickstarter is going to hit it. Yeah, let's see. See if we can find a home for the majority of these. Okay, I've got the bolts in here. Actually, the pad was in real good shape. Of course, nothing like that's available. You'd have to make it. But I'm going to go ahead and tighten down most of this. Probably wait on these because this will move a little bit with when I get the new rubbers to go in there. So I'll go ahead and snug the rest of these up. All right, got our fender kind of put together. I will have to pull this back off to put the new rubbers in there, but that's all right. We'll get it kind of in place. And you know, maybe we'll see that something else isn't right or something. I'm just going to stick a couple of bolts in back here, just hold the back end of that up for now. And go ahead and finish fastening onto the front. Okay, looks like I've got a ground wire that's broken here, so I'm going to have to replace that. And looks like it comes down through here underneath and probably bolts to one of those bolts under there. So I've got to replace that before I can get this on. Let me see what I can figure out. Okay, I see the other end of that is right here on the okay, that's going to go in there. We've just got a little bit of a wire from here to here, and then we'll replace all this. Now I'm going to just try to drill that wire out of there and get it big enough to put a new wire in and then solder it. Okay, I think we've got it. A little flux there, clean off. And that can be pushed back down now. Hopefully it won't break. Alright, so that's our ground to our socket. Okay, so we're going to need new leads here. I just took this over, it fits in and you don't see any of that. So we've got to put new leads in here, and we need to rob these little ends off. They're just little, like little washers are what they are, but that's where the bulb contacts go contact to. So let me go over there and kind of measure what we need, and then we'll take these off, rob those, and put some new wire in. Okay, I'm going to weld up the crack here. Runs from right about here, comes off this way, around here. So I'm going to go ahead and sand this off a little bit on both sides. I think I may try to weld it on the inside first and see how that does. See if we can eliminate removing some of this stuff. But I imagine it's going to burn it off. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and take a couple of pictures just to in case I need to put the decals back on, I can do so and make them look about right. Alright. But I'm going to try, I think I'll just use some MIG wire. Just got a little piece, this is 30. So that's, I think, what I'm going to do. But I'm going to go ahead and sand this a little bit, prep the surface. And I may drill a hole in this one end where it's wanting to go off on me. I took a hammer and kind of knocked it back down to where it looked like it ought to be. After I cleaned that off, I've got one that's trekking off down this way, and one over here that's going that way and right here. So I think I'll drill those. I know it's more to weld up, but not really. It's not that big a deal. Just trying to stop them, and we'll just go ahead and start welding there and weld them, you know, weld those full. Okay, we've got it, at least it's repaired. And this bracket really just is a fake bracket. See, it covers up that, but it essentially just bolts on with these 4 bolts right completely through. So it's not like it's a real bracket. So I'm going to think about it a little bit. I do have some grabber orange paint, and it's pretty close to this. I don't know. We'll just have to see. I'll finish that up a little bit better, and we'll see what I want to do with it after that. Okay, I'm just going to put all this on to see what it looks like. So we've got our fake bracket on, our mud flap on, which this is a steel mud flap, not a rubber one. All right, so we'll go ahead and put it on the bike and see what that looks like. We're going to have to do something with, you know, corrosion control, even if we don't paint it. But I think I'm kind of leaning toward paint. I just hate to. You know, when you paint one thing, then all the rest of the stuff that you thought looked pretty good doesn't anymore. And that's kind of where I'm at. Okay, so there's that. I don't know, it's up in there. Maybe if I just shoot a little of that paint along, well, I'll paint the whole thing, all the damaged area, but you know, that just, let me get you off here. You know, you don't hardly see it over here. You got rust right here, so you got a little bit. I think I may try to just do some touch-up. Okay guys, I think I found a home for just about all the wires. These, here's the switch and the lights going up to the tack and whatnot. And I've also got, oh, right here, the switch up here. So all these are going to have to be redone, at least new sleeving. I've got most, I think I've only maybe got one wire left. Some of this was when I was going over the wiring harness before I stopped working on this. I had gotten a used one off eBay. The one I had was in really rough shape, and the one I got wasn't great either, but it wasn't quite as much hacked on. So I've made a new one here going to, I can't remember what that goes to, but I think one of them is the tail light here, and this is the tail light harness too. I don't think I got any of that, I just got the main one. So I've been kind of working with two of them to get them all right. I've just finished up the tail light. I think we're good on it, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get it on. I put some rubber grommets in here last night with some glue, so those should be in good shape. And when I get everything positioned the way I want it, then I'll stuff a little rope caulking like they use on cars up in there, and that'll keep the mud and stuff from being flown back here and running all over the place. But I've still got probably tomorrow these might be here, the rubbers. But I went through all this wiring last night, and I think I found a home for all but maybe one or two. I've got the stoplight down here. It's going to need some cleaning and some re-sleeving and whatnot too. Everything needs re-sleeved. The main harness wasn't too bad. I went ahead and rewrapped it. Still got the part number on it. So everything is looking pretty good there. I just wanted to see what I could do with this Fender, and I'm happy with the repair. It's just that I think I'll mask off some stuff and do a little bit of, we'll see what the paint looks like. If it really looks off, then I don't know. Probably end up having to paint it all. This it's got a dealer sticker up here on the front, and a lot of it's gone too. I thought it would have been really cool. It says sold and serviced by Lee and Ron Cycle Center, Kawasaki Trail and Street Machines, Anaconda, Montana. And it gives the address and the phone number too, but most of that's missing. So I think I'm going to work on this wiring a little bit, and we'll see what we can do with that. I am going to try to get the speedometer and tachometer mounted. I think I've got what I need for that, and I need that so I can make sure of the length on wires and that sort of stuff. And I also got the cabling out, and I'm going to redo a couple of those. They're in pretty bad shape. They're just hard to find. I was able to find a new front brake cable with the switch inside, with it in there. But I found that probably 10 years ago, or whenever I got the bike, right after I got the bike. So at least that's a strange one that I don't need to mess with. But I'm going to have to work on these others. All right, there's my barrels, bushings, whatever. There we go. Let me wrestle up some bolts. Okay, I just was able to, I had some self-locking nylocks, so I'm using those on the inside. That way my bolt isn't, it's a little bit short, but without putting a washer, a lock washer on it, I think we're good. Yeah, it comes up almost to the end there. Hopefully that will be okay. There. Yeah, much better. Reach up here and make sure these are tight up here. Yep. That one needed a little. Okay, so we made some headway. Okay guys, just took a real quick look at where we're at. See, the wire ran right there, run behind the engine. I don't know whether that's how that one went or not, but that's how this one is. Seems like it's pretty good shape over there now. Okay guys, there you have it. We made pretty good progress on the F7. It's always a joy to start putting stuff back together. Sometimes, you know, you're missing something and that's kind of frustrating because you got to stop and wait. But the rubber bushings were the main thing for the rear fender. And I ordered those on Tuesday probably. And they showed up from Rocky Mountain today, Friday, and I was able to get that portion of it done back there. It's always good to get a segment done and then another segment done and so on and so forth. It's up to you how you break up your segments. But I just put the tank on so I'd have a good picture for my thumbnail. And here's the fuel petcock that I was going to use, and it will fit there just perfect. And when you get these, of course, if you order this number, you'll have the right one, but they also have where the fuel inlet is on the other side, so you need to watch that. There's a lot of variations with those petcocks, so they fit more things. But anyhow, we've done real good. I've got to tighten up the bolts on the engine, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the front fender yet, but we'll probably go ahead if we can get to a start point where I can try to fire it up. Once we get the wiring and everything done, I can make a decision about that fender later on. Just have to remove it and start, you know, do whatever I'm going to do. But anyhow, hey, subscribe if you would, and thumbs up would be good. If you want the notifications, that's cool. But thanks for going along on the ride, and it's been a long ride on this thing. See you next video.